In earlier lecture, we discussed about semi-solid dosage form in which ointment. So in this chapter, as we seen, firstly definition of the ointment. What is mean by ointment? So ointment, it is a semi-solid dosage preparation, and it is homogeneous, translucent, viscous, and it is intended for, that is prepared for or used for external application to the skin or mucous membrane. So this is about definition. After that, we discuss their advantages, disadvantages, then types of ointment, in which there are different types of the ointment depending upon their either basis of penetration, on the basis of therapeutic use, and either medicament present or not. So firstly, we discuss ointments are classified into two types, in which depending upon the medicated agent. First one, unmedicated ointment, and second one is medicated ointment. So what is mean by medicated ointment?
The ointment contain any drug.
The ointment which contain active pharmaceutical ingredient, other drug or medicament, is known as medicated ointment. And unmedicated ointments, do not contain any drug or any medicament. They just used for emollient and protective action to the skin. Their example, petroleum jelly. After that, we discuss their different types depending upon their therapeutic use. Emollient, protective, anti-infective, anti-eczematic, keratolytic, antiperspirant. They used to remove the perspiration or stop the perspiration. Then anti-seborrheic. So after that, one more addition in their ointment type is on the basis of their action. So they are mainly classified into three types, in which epidermic ointment, endodermic ointment, and diadermic ointment. So epidermic ointment, these are the ointment, they are intended to produce their action on the surface of skin and produces the local effect. Penetrationच्या बेसिसवरून त्याचे अगेन three types पडतात, in which first one is epidermic. Dermis, it is a layer of skin. Epi means outer side. So epidermis layer, in which the ointment, epidermic ointments are the ointment, they are intended for to produce their action on the surface of skin. Skinच्या surface वरती action produce करतात. This ointment is known as epidermic ointment, and also they produces local effect. Where they applied, just site ला ते apply केलेले आहेत, at that place they shows their local effect or their therapeutic effect. So they do not absorb into the skin. The skinच्या layer मध्ये absorb होत नाहीत. Do you know layer of skins? Structure of skin you are already studied in biology. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this epidermic ointment, they not absorb into the skin layer. The next point is that second type, endodermic ointment. So endodermic ointments are the ointment, they are intended to release the medicament and penetrate into the skin. Means epidermic ointment ज्या आहेत त्या स्किन मध्ये absorb होत नाहीत, while as compared to endodermic ointment. Endodermic ointments, they get release the medicament and penetrate to the skin. The skin मध्ये release होतात आणि penetrate करतात. And they partially absorb into the skin layer and act as emollients, stimulants, and local irritant. They just partially, in small proportion, they just absorb into the skin layer, endodermic ointment, and where they produce a soothing effect, stimulating effect to the skin, and local irritant effect. The next and the last class in the ointment is diadermic ointment. So diadermic ointments are the ointment, they are prepared or intended to release the medicament and produces systemic effect. The first ointment होता epidermic ointment. This epidermic ointment, they not absorb into the skin, while endodermic ointments, these endodermic ointments, they just partially absorb into the skin. And last one, diadermic ointments, these ointments passes through the skin and they produces their effect into the systemic circulation. Systemic circulation means they produce systemic effect. Systemic effect means through the skin, they goes into the systemic circulation, that is into the blood. Means firstly they passes through the skin, absorb into the skin layer, and then they produce a systemic effector. So this is about classification of ointment. After that we discuss there are a formulation of ointment in which we discuss one example: wool fat, cetosterol alcohol, hard paraffin, white soft paraffin with their quantity and their use. Where wool fat, it is used as an emollient to produce soothing effect or smoothing effect. Hard paraffin, it is used as a stiffening agent, that is, it plays important role to maintain the viscosity of ointment. The next point is white soft paraffin, it is used as a base. So we discuss about different base used in the formulation of ointment with their example. So this oleaginous base, absorption base, water removal base, and water soluble base. Their examples we discussed in the previous lecture. The next point in this chapter is up to this. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay. So their formulation, how these ointments are prepared. So these ingredients are used to prepare the ointment. So firstly, hard paraffin and cetosteryl alcohol are melted in the porcelain dish on the water bath. So first, same procedure like the calamine lotion or suppositories, means exactly same like suppositories, because there is base is to be used up. It is different from the lotion. So firstly, we have to take porcelain dish. Do you remember? It is used in preparation of suppositories.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
China dish or porcelain dish, we can say. So this porcelain dish is to be taken, and in which hard paraffin and cetosterol alcohol is to be melted. So firstly you have to measure the proper quantities, and after that take the hard paraffin and cetosterol alcohol in the proper measurement or the proper quantity, and after that in the porcelain dish it is melted. It kept on the water bath. Water bath मध्ये water घ्यायचे, त्याला heat provide करायचे, आणि porcelain dish मध्ये hard paraffin and cetosterol alcohol melt करायचे. Then next step is wool fat and white soft paraffin. They are mixed together and stirred until the ingredients melted. जोपर्यंत ingredient melt होतात, up to this stage you have to mix and stir the wool fat and the white soft paraffin, and if required or strained, then stir it until cold and packed in suitable container. Means firstly you have to melt the hard paraffin and cetosterol alcohol in porcelain dish, and another is wool fat and white soft paraffin. They are mixed together and they stir until their ingredient may be melted, and after that they both mix it together. म्हणजे hard paraffin, cetosterol alcohol, and जे second आहे white soft paraffin and wool fat, they these four ingredients mix together and continuously stirring, and if continuously stirring, after it become cool or cold, and after that it packed into the suitable container. So this is about formulation or how to prepare the ointment. कोणते ingredient mix करायचे समजले? Firstly hard paraffin and cetosterol alcohol you have to mix, and after that it is taken into the porcelain dish and which is kept onto the water bath and melted it. So after their melting, again second two ingredients are given, that is second step. Fat, wool fat and the white soft paraffin is to be taken. They both mix together, and after that they mixed with the first preparation, that is into the cetosterol alcohol and the hard paraffin, and they continuously stir for their proper mixing, and after the some time when it will cool, then you have to pack into the suitable container. So by this way this formulation of ointment is done. Ointments are prepared by incorporating active ingredient into the selected base. So this is an example of simple ointment whenever you study ointment chapter in your practical, then you understand how to prepare different formulation of ointment. तर त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला different example येतील like that prepare and submit the benzoic acid ointment. Then again same base are used. त्याच्यामध्ये फक्त जो active ingredient आहे तो benzoic acid असेल. So this is example of simple ointment. Again same steps are followed for this. जो ointment base आहे ते आणि other hard paraffin or stiffening agent, they both mix together, and white paraffin base and emollient. White soft paraffin it is a base आणि जे emollient आहे ते mix करायचे at the end. All the 4 ingredients they are properly mixed together, stir properly, and then cool it, and after that they are packed into the suitable container. The next point is that storage of ointment. Screen is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
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 Okay, by seeing this image, we can say that ointment is to be stored into the either wide mouth jar or into the tube. So ointment are dispensed in the jar or the wide mouth bottles. This is wide mouth container. Either it is of the glass or it is of the plastic, and it should be stored at the temperature 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. They are stored into the tightly closed container. Sterile ointment dispensed in tubes or single dose unit in order to protect the product against the contamination during the use. Contamination means contamination. To prevent the contamination of ointment, we have to store this. It should be stored in tightly closed container. So what is mean by contamination? Am I audible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
दूषित होणे.
So to avoid any microbial presence or any impurity, जी impurity आहे त्याच्यामध्ये ती जाऊ नये. That's why to prevent this, they are stored, or it should be packed into the tightly closed container. The next ointment should be stored and protect from effect of humidity, direct light, heat, or cold out reach of the children and animal. So it take reach out from the children and the animal, and it should be protect or packed in such a way that there should be no effect of humidity or light or direct exposure to the heat. So this is about storage of ointment. Ointment and cream. काय difference आहे? क्रीम आणि ऑइंटमेंट सेम प्रिपरेशन्स असतात.
बेस वेगवेगळे मॅडम.
Yes.
बेस वेगवेगळे.
How do you know base is different? Logically, what do you think? What is difference in between ointment and creams? Creams ही अशाच असतात. They are packed in either wide mouth container or in this tube form. Any idea? At least any one point? हे तरी स्टोरेज जे आहे कंटेनर सेम असतात. हे तरी बरोबर आहे का? क्रीम्स आणि ऑइंटमेंट.
Yes, ma'am.
तुम्हाला असा क्वेश्चन नाही कळला व्हॉट इज डिफरन्स इन बिटवीन क्रीम्स अँड ointment? Yes. Speak loudly. 36.
क्रीम मध्ये
liquid or semi solid आणि
Creams are also
ointment.
semi-solid preparation. Semi-solid असतात creams. By nature they are same, but what is main difference? Okay, no idea. After the completion of ointment and creams, we discuss about their difference. But ज्या creams असतात त्या आपण कशासाठी यूज करतो? Ointment त्यांचा medicated agent आहेत. So main difference in between the medicated and unmedicated मध्ये आहे. That is main difference in between the cream and ointment. If ointment antifungal ointment आहे ती चेहऱ्यावर लावली तर चालेल का? If it is applied on the face, is it okay?
No, ma'am.
That is the difference. तर क्रीम ज्या आहेत त्या स्किन साठी प्रोटेक्टिव्ह आणि इमोलियंट म्हणून वर्क करतात फक्त. क्रीम्स कॉस्मेटिक मध्ये येतात, राईट?
Yes, ma'am.
The facial cream आहेत. We use all this cream to glow the face, to shine the face. Ointment use करू शकतो का?
No.
Is it possible?
No, ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
So by nature they are same, but there is difference in between the formulation and as well as their ingredient. That's a particular medicated action, anti-fungal, anti-eczematic, anti-seborrheic, keratolytic. Cream असतात का तशा? Creams are only used for the purpose of cosmetic. Pounds cream, Fair and Lovely cream, and any other creams. What's the difference in general?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so about storage, it should be stored into the wide mouth bottles, or either it is of the glass or the plastic. They are stored at the temperature 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, and it should be stored into a tightly closed container. And these are the sterile ointment, and they are dispensed into the either single tubes. The single tubes मध्ये dispense केले जातात, or they are packed into the wide mouth container, and they packed in such a way that there may be no contamination is to be occurred. And when exposure to the humidity, light, or the temperature, it do not affect it, and it keep away from the or reach out from the children and the animal. So this is about storage. The next and the last point in this chapter is quality control test. Physical appearance, first one. Then pH, wet variation, rate of penetration, then non-irritancy test, sterility test, in vitro drug release test, and metal particle test. So in which physical appearance? So about physical appearance, you have idea from the previous pharmaceutical dosage form. What we can check from the physical appearance?
Texture.
Color.
Color.
Viscosity.
Odor.
Aroma.
Viscosity is not checked by using physical appearance. It is checked by using different tests. Viscometer either or
Stability.
स्टॅबिलिटी इज करेक्ट वन. फिजिकली आपण बघू शकता आयदर इट इज स्टेबल म्हणजे ते सेमी सॉलिडच आहे की लिक्विड मध्ये आहे. Okay, so in the physical appearance we check that their stability, their appearance, color, odor and nature, म्हणजे ते सेमी सॉलिड नेचरचे आहेत, प्रॉपर सॉलिड मध्ये आहेत की लिक्विड स्टेट मध्ये आहेत. So you can write these same points. Then next is pH. pH we can check by using pH paper or
pH meter.
pH meter. Then next one, weight variation test. A total of 10 filled ointment container are to be selected, and label is to be removed, and the outer surface is to be cleaned, dried, and each unit is weighed. If needed, container is cut to remove their content by washing, dried, and again weighed along with its part. And if the weight variation into the content, it is calculate the difference between the weight. Means you have to firstly collect the such type of the 10 bottles or the containers or packed ointments, and the 10 ointment मध्ये हे ऑब्झर्व केलं का तुम्ही, ज्या क्रीम्स किंवा ऑइंटमेंट असतात त्याच्यावरती एक हे जे लीड आहे त्याच्या अगोदर एक लेअर असतो, एक पेपर असतो. फर्स्टली वी रिमूव्ह दिस पेपर अँड देन यूज ऑइंटमेंट.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
सो 10 ऑइंटमेंटचे प्रिपरेशन असलेले जे कंटेनर्स आहेत ते सिलेक्ट करायचे, आफ्टर दॅट त्याच्यामध्ये ऑइंटमेंट ज्या प्रिपेअर केलेल्या आहेत, फॉर्म्युलेट केलेल्या आहेत, यू हॅव टू फिल इट into this container and check out their weight. Same quantity मध्ये fill करायचे without this label or this paper. And if there is weight variation is occur or not, ते check करायचे. त्याचं जे weight variation ची रेंज आहे ती तुमच्या सिलेबस मध्ये दिलेली नाही. जस्ट हाऊ टू क्वालिटी कंट्रोल टेस्ट टू बी परफॉर्म ते दिलेलं आहे. So in the weight variation test, you can write select the total 10 filled ointment container, then remove their outer surface, remove their label, and weigh all these containers and check out their difference in between all. तर 10 मध्ये सपोज एकाचा डिफरन्स एक असेल ऑइंटमेंट त्याचं वेट 10 ग्रॅम आहे, अनदर 11 ग्रॅम, देन अनदर वन थर्ड वन जे आहे 9 ग्रॅम. असा डिफरन्स किती ऑइंटमेंट मध्ये येतोय आउट ऑफ 10 तो फक्त कॅल्क्युलेट करायचा. This is about weight variation test. We perform this test. We study this test same for which preparation, which formulation. ही सेम टेस्ट झालेली आहे वेट व्हेरिएशन टेस्ट. For which formulation? क्रीम्स झाले का आपलं? प्रॅक्टिकल मध्ये झालेलं आहे. प्रॅक्टिकल मध्ये क्रीम झालेलं आहे का? फार्मास्युटिक्सच्या प्रॅक्टिकल मध्ये क्रीम्स कव्हर केलेलं आहे का? Am I audible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Cold cream झाली ना.
Cold cream and vanishing cream.
Cold and vanishing cream.
ओके, क्रीम मध्ये क्वालिटी कंट्रोल टेस्ट झालेत का? क्वालिटी कंट्रोल टेस्ट?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
मग तुम्ही जो चॅप्टर झालेलाच नाही इव्हन थेअरी मध्येही, मग तेच कसं सांगताय क्रीम्स? आय एम आस्किंग अबाउट प्रिव्हियस चॅप्टर. वी स्टडीड फ्रॉम दी टॅबलेट, कॅप्सूल, इमल्शन, सस्पेन्शन, सपोजिटरीज, लोशन, पिसारीज. In which formulation we studied the same test?
Tablet.
Lotion.
लोशन मध्ये नाहीये वेट व्हेरिएशन टेस्ट. टॅबलेट अँड सपोजिटरीज.
Suppository.
Okay. The next weight variation test, after that, rate of penetration. Rate of penetration, it gives idea from the type of ointment. जे आपण depending upon ointment चे type बघितलेले, penetration, in which epidermic ointment, endodermic ointment, and diadermic ointment. After application of this ointment, they get release their medicament into the skin and they produce a systemic effect. Sometimes they are partially absorbed, then sometimes they do not absorb. It is depending upon the type of ointment. So they skin la penetration produce करतात का? And if they produces, then by which speed or by which rate they produces, that is where the quantity of ointment is to be applied over the skin and it is kept for a definite period of time, and check out either it is produces penetration to the skin or not. And if this ointment is penetrated, then it is removed and it cannot be used. So rate of penetration, it is calculated by dividing amount of area where it is applied and time period of application. म्हणजे ज्या स्किनच्या एरियावरती आपण ते अप्लाय केले आणि किती टाइम साठी ते अप्लाय केले, कॉन्टॅक्ट इन बिटवीन द स्किन अँड दिस ऑइंटमेंट for how many time or how much time. So depending on this, rate of penetration is to be depend. And if this ointment is penetrated, so can we use this ointment? If ointment is create or produces penetration to the skin, then can we use this ointment or not?
Yes, ma'am.
क्वेश्चन समजलेला आहे का? If ointment produces penetration, then we can use. तरी आपण यूज करू शकतोय.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am. No, ma'am.
How it is possible? There is already infection. That's why we taking or we apply this ointment. आणि आणखी पेनिट्रेशन झालं स्किनला तरी ते यूज करायचं. We cannot use such type of ointment if it produces penetration. Then next point is, so rate of penetration overall, it depends upon the area where it is applied and time period of the application. The next point is, next test is non-irritancy test, means after the application of ointment, it is performed by the patch test daily, and ointment is to be applied on the particular area of the skin, and then observe that it produces irritation to the skin or not. Patch म्हणजे एका पर्टिक्युलर स्किन वरती पॅच फॉर्म मध्ये ती ऑइंटमेंट अप्लाय करायची. And if it produces irritation, then it cannot be used. And if it does not produce irritation, that is non-irritated, then we can use it. So this is about non-irritancy. You have to write फक्त या enlist करायच्या नाहीत. When question is asked on this point for the 3 marks, then firstly you have to write what is mean by ointment. Then there are different quality control tests, and one by one you have to explain it. त्या explain करायच्या आहेत. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
The next test is sterility test. What is mean by sterility? Sterilization. Why there is need to sterile the product? Which dosage form mainly sterile?
Proper mix होण्यासाठी.
It is wrong. Proper answer. Why sterility is done? Sterilization सांगितलेलं आहे previous lecture मध्ये. There are different methods used for the sterilization. कोणते फॉर्म्युलेशन स्टेरिलाइज केले जातात? सांगितलेलं आहे स्टेरिलायझेशन. सांगितलं आहे हे तरी आठवते का?
Yes, ma'am.
Control
Correct.
macro.
So sterilization, it is a process in which the ointment मध्ये जे bacteria, microorganism ते prevent करण्यासाठी if they are present or not, त्यासाठी sterility test केली जाते. So sterility test is to be done by using autoclave, hot air oven. There are different methods are used for the sterility testing. जे food product आहेत तेही sterilize केले जातात, माहिती आहे? Chips and also other cold drinks. त्याच्यामध्ये ऑलरेडी प्रिझर्वेटिव्ह असतो, बट मेनली त्याच्यामध्ये केमिकल स्टेरिलायझेशन हे यूज केलं जातं, और UV sterilization, radiation sterilization is to be used. So sterilization, it means it is a process in which making that product free from the bacteria or presence of the microorganism. So if there is presence of microorganism or bacteria in ointment, then this ointment is used or not?
Not.
Not.
We cannot use such type of the ointment when we perform the sterility test for the ointment, and if this ointment passes the test, the sterile असेल, at that time we can use this preparation. The next one is in vitro drug release test. In vitro drug release from the ointment is to be tested by Franz diffusion. This one asked for MCQ. By which method in vitro drug release is to be tested. So write down in your notebook, in vitro drug released from the ointment is to be tested in the France diffusion cell. And by using the Vatman filter paper, it is one of the type of filter paper, Vatman's filter paper. So this filter paper is to be soaked into the phosphate buffer, and then it give the thin layer of ointment and apply it on the filter paper. An amount of drug permeated is determined by using the spectrophotometer. या टेस्ट मध्ये काय केलं जातं? फर्स्टली फ्रांस डिफ्युजन सेल यूज करून एक वॅट्समन फिल्टर पेपर यूज करायचा. तो फिल्टर पेपर बफर फॉस्फेट बफर सोल्युशन मध्ये डीप जस्ट वेट करायचं आहे. आफ्टर दॅट त्याच्यावरती ऑइंटमेंट म्हणजे पेपर वरती ती ऑइंटमेंट स्प्रेड करायची. आणि आफ्टर दॅट टू चेक आउट पेनिट्रेशन म्हणजे तो ड्रग त्या फॉस्फेट बफर च्या फिल्टर पेपर मध्ये किती गेट ऍब्सॉर्ब होतोय, पेनिट्रेट होतोय ते चेक करायचं आहे बाय युजिंग UV spectrophotometer. UV visible spectrophotometer यूज करून ते चेक करायचं आहे. द ड्रग रिलीजेस ऑर नॉट. म्हणजे फिल्टर पेपर वरती ऑलरेडी देर इज प्रेझेन्स ऑफ फॉस्फेट बफर. मग ते ड्रग त्याच्यामध्ये सोक होते की नाही त्या सोल्युशन मध्ये, ते इन विट्रो ड्रग रिलीज मध्ये चेक केलं जातं. देन नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, मेटल पार्टिकल टेस्ट. मेटल पार्टिकल टेस्ट, this test is applicable for the ophthalmic ointment and in which the ointments are from the 10 tubes is to be melted and contents are to be collected into the petri dish and the content heated for the 85 degrees Celsius for the 2 hours and achieve fully fluidity to solidify it. And the petri dish is inverted on the microscope at the bottom of entire petri dish, examined under the microscope under the 30x magnification. I think microscope related माहिती असेल. magnification 30x 10x माहिती आहे का? मायक्रोस्कोप माहिती, तुमचं लक्ष आहे का? व्हॉट इज युअर रोल नंबर तुमचा? Okay, so by fixing the microscope magnification 30x, then firstly metal particle means there is presence of metal particle in this ointment or not. It is checked by using under the microscopic evaluation. So for this their magnification is to be fixed for 30x. RBC WBC चे practical skill असतील तर माहित असेल. and also I think HP च्या practical मध्ये आहे, first practical असेल maybe microscope related. Then in which check out if there is impurity such as metal particles or any other fluidity is present in it or not. So for this metal particle test is to be performed. But this ointment you have to take into the petri dish and after that observe under the microscope. जे 10 ऑइंटमेंटच्या ट्यूब्स आहेत त्या 10 ट्यूब्स मधून क्रीम ही जी ऑइंटमेंट आहे ती ऑइंटमेंट पेट्री डिश मध्ये घ्यायची आणि ती हीट करायची 85 डिग्री सेल्सिअसला फॉर 2 आवर्स साठी. आणि आफ्टर दॅट सॉलिडिफाय म्हणजे प्रॉपर त्याचे सॉलिडिफिकेशन झाल्यानंतर, सॉलिडिफिकेशन माहित असेल सपोजिटरीज मध्ये जास्त कूल होतात. लिक्विफिकेशन, सॉलिडिफिकेशन माहिती आहे?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
ओके, तर त्या सॉलिडिफाय झाल्यानंतर we have to observe under the microscope. So this is about quality control test of ointment. Here we complete ointment chapter. It is under the topical preparation or topical formulation. It is in a semi-solid dosage form. In this chapter we discuss definition, advantage, disadvantage, formulation, their types, and how it is formulated, storage and quality control test. Any doubt related to ointment?
No.
No, ma'am.
Ointmentचा pH काय असतो मॅम?
Ointment? Any problem?
Ma'am, pH of ointment.
हा पीएच ऑल्सो लोशनचाही राहिलेला पीएच का कसा असायला पाहिजे पीएच व्हॉट डू यू थिंक it should be matched with am I audible to all
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
it should be matched with pH of intestine GIT tract hmm
5 to 6.
but match with which part where it is applied
Skin.
स्किनचा पीएच किती आहे 7 बरोबर आहे की चुकीचं आहे इज इट राईट और रॉंग सर्च इट अँड टेल मी इन नेक्स्ट लेक्चर सो पीएच जे आपण टॉपिकल प्रिपरेशन बघतोय they are applied over the skin so that's why their pH is same as that of skin आणि जर टॅबलेट असतील तर त्यांचा पीएच कसा ठेवायचा आहे थिंक फास्टली काय होतं टॅबलेट ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशन केल्यावर टॅबलेटचं पीएच कसं असायला पाहिजे इट शुड बी सिमिलर टू जीआयटी ट्रॅक ते जीआयटी ट्रॅक मध्ये रिलीज होतात आफ्टर दर ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ओके इफ द इंटेरिक कोटेड टॅबलेट असतील तर त्याचा पीएच कसा असणार आहे एंटेरिक कोटेड टॅबलेट मीन्स दे रिलीज ऍट फर्स्ट इयर काय चाललंय ते समजतंय का टॅबलेट ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेट केली का हॅव यू टेकन टॅबलेट और नॉट
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
काय होतं आफ्टर द ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशन
Break होते.
देन
Dissolution.
देन
Protected. Break.
डिझोल्युशन झाल्यावर आफ्टर दॅट ब्रेक
Break झाल्यावर dissolution. Break, dissolution, and protect the action.
तुम्हाला
Action.
टॅबलेट ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेट केलं काय होतं तेच माहिती नाही we discussed in earlier lecture this बायोअॅक्टिव्हिटी झाल्यावर सांगितलेलं आहे ऍडव्हान्टेजेस मध्ये लास्ट लेक्चर लक्षात नाही तुमच्या बायो अवेलेबिलिटी म्हणजे काय ते इन डिटेल सांगताना सांगितलेलं आहे टॅबलेट ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशन केल्यावर काय होतं म्हणजे टॅबलेट कम्प्लीट झालेलं आहे तरी तुम्हाला माहित नाही व्हॉट हॅपन आफ्टर द ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ती फक्त स्टमच मध्ये राहिली तर ऍक्शन भेटेल का सपोज यू हॅव फीवर अँड पेन तर त्यासाठी तुम्ही पेन किलर घेतलेली आहे ती पेन किलर टॅबलेट तुम्ही ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेट केल्यानंतर ऍज सच इट इज इन द स्टमक तर तशी ऍक्शन भेटेल का पेन रिमूव्ह होईल का
No,
No.
ma'am. No, ma'am.
So after the administration of dosage form, that is tablet, it firstly gets disintegrated, then dissolution is to be occur. After that, ADM याद होते. Absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion. Write down in your notebook. This is very important point. Capsules is same असतं. If they are enteric coated tablet असतील तर ते intestine मध्ये जाऊन release होतात and after that it's absorption, systemic circulation, then they spread all over and after that they produces their action. जर क्रीम्स आपण अप्लाय केल्या स्किन वरती किंवा ऑइंटमेंट जे टॉपिकल प्रिपरेशन आहेत त्याच्यासाठी सेम पाथवे असेल का? डिसइंटिग्रेशन, डिझोल्युशन.
No.
No, ma'am.
They just directly get absorbed into the skin and produces their effect. त्याचा इफेक्ट ज्या ठिकाणी इन्फेक्शन आहे, where they applied, there they produces their effect. समजते का? बायो अवेलेबिलिटी आफ्टर ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ टॅबलेट हे तुम्ही सांगायचंय आफ्टर कम्प्लिशन ऑफ द कोर्स. तुम्हालाच माहिती नाही. टॅबलेट ब्रेक नाही झाली तर ऍब्सॉर्ब होईल का?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
त्यासाठी तर आपण हार्डनेस टेस्ट करतोय. इफ इट इज टू हार्ड, हार्डनेसची ज्या टेस्ट मध्ये रेंज दिलेल्या आहेत त्याच्या आउट ऑफ रेंज असेल तर that tablet are not used up. There is need or necessary to break down this tablet when it goes into the stomach. Stomach मध्ये गेल्यानंतर ती ब्रेक व्हायला पाहिजे. टॅबलेट समजलेला आहे का? समजलेला आहे पण रिवाइज केलेला नाही. इट इज क्लिअर दॅट टॅबलेट क्लिअर नाही आणि तुम्ही कॅप्सूलच्या नोट्स कशासाठी मागताय? टॅबलेटचे नोट्स राईट डाऊन केलेत नोटबुक मध्ये? Am I audible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
मग काय फक्त ऍज सच बघून लिहिलेलं आहे का त्या हँड रिटन नोट्स? मग तशा तर त्या झेरॉक्स पण करू शकता तुम्ही. ती नोटबुक चेक करणार आहे मी. टॅबलेट, कॅप्सूल, इमल्शन, सस्पेन्शन समजलेलं आहे का? ते पॉइंट क्लिअर नसतील तर इथून पुढे जे आहेत तेही समजणार नाही. ऑल्सो दिस इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट पार्ट फॉर द सेकंड इयर. फर्स्ट इयर क्लिअर नसेल तर सेकंड इयर इझी नसतं. हे तुम्हाला माहिती आहे. हे कन्सिडर करून तो सिलेबस असतो. Okay, so here we complete this ointment chapter. Next test जी आहे तुमची, किती टेस्ट झाले?
6.
We discuss about test after the lecture. Firstly, about ointment. Ointment cover झालेला आहे. That next topical preparation is cream. Screen is visible to all.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so again they are the same preparations. And they are packed either into the wide mouth container or in tubes. So again we have to same points study in this chapter. What is mean by creams, their definition, their classification. There are different types of the cream. Cosmetic preparation, in which cold cream, vanishing cream, foundation cream, cleansing cream, then hand cream and body cream, medicated creams, aqueous creams and oily creams. After that, advantages, disadvantages, formulation, how these creams are prepared. That is their method of preparation, then storage of cream and quality control test for this cream. Ointment समजलेला आहे?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see the next chapter from the topical preparation is creams. So creams, it is defined as it is in a semi-solid dosage form and containing one or more drug substance. It is dissolved or dispersed in the suitable base. So this is again any problem? एक कनेक्ट असेल तरी चालतंय की दोन्ही कनेक्ट नाही? So creams, their definition, these are the semi-solid dosage form which containing one or more drugs. Semi-solid preparation आहे आणि एक किंवा जास्त drugs असतात. Drug substances, they are dissolved or dispersed into the suitable base. One or more drugs dissolved into the suitable base. This is known as cream. Cream, it is a semi-solid emulsion. Why it is known as emulsion? Because we are taking base and that is one phase is dissolved into the another phase if they are miscible or immiscible. Here base as used as sometimes cocoa butter or emulsifying base are used, or the base which is used for ointment. Such bases are used in it. That's why it is again semi-solid emulsion type of the preparation. Then creams are the semi-solid emulsion of oil and the water. Then they are oil and water, that is O by W type of emulsion. This one important point and it is asked for objective. Creams are which type of the emulsion? O by W, W by O, O by W by O, W by O by O. So creams are the semi-solid emulsion and they are O by W type of the emulsion. They having the softer consistency. The consistency by nature they are softer and lighter body than true ointment. Lighter to the body than the ointment. Ointment पेक्षा हे skin ला किंवा body ला lighter करतात. Then next is semi-solid emulsion of either O by W or W by O. So there are different type of this cream. तुम्ही जी प्रिपेअर केली ती कोणत्या टाइपची आहे? कोणती प्रिपेअर केली आहे?
Cold vanishing cream.
Which type of the emulsion? कोणत्या टाइपची आहे? O by W, W by O सांगितलं असेल. So creams mainly having the access the emulsion. They having the either O by W म्हणजे oil phase water मध्ये mix करायचे किंवा water oil मध्ये. So it is depending upon type of this cream. ती vanishing cream आहे, cold cream आहे, cleansing cream आहे, foundation cream आहे. तर त्याच्यावर depend आहे either it is O by W or W by O. So we can say the definition of cream. Creams are the homogeneous viscous semi-liquid preparation and they are applied over the skin or applied externally to the skin, or we can say it is a semi-solid preparation which containing one or more drug substances and they are dissolved or dispersed into the suitable base. So this is about definition of cream. Again same point, these are the semi-solid dosage form. They containing one or more drug substances and they are dissolved into the suitable base. Then they are either O by W or W by O. O by W, W by O हे तरी माहिती आहे?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Then next, O by W emulsion, microcrystalline dispersion of long chain of fatty acid or alcohol that are water washable. Means this is about base used for this. Microcrystalline dispersion of long chain fatty acids or alcohol that are water washable. म्हणजे जो बेस त्याच्यामध्ये यूज केला जातोय if the cream is to be O by W type. After application of this cream, जर ते water न वॉश केलं तर ते water washable असावं. It is not non-water washable. It is not non-greasy in nature, sticky in nature. तर ते तसं नसायला पाहिजे. We use O by W type of emulsion base same because it should be water washable. The next point, advantages of cream. They give prolonged contact in the site of application than other pharmaceutical semi-solid dosage form. ज्या ठिकाणी ते अप्लाय केलेलं आहे at that site, prolonged contact. Prolonged contact means about their time. Skin वरती अप्लाय केलेलं आहे, cream spread केलेलं आहे of or if it is applied over this face, then their prolonged time as compared other dosage form. टॅबलेटचं कसं आहे कॅप्सूल इमल्शन ते डायरेक्टली शोज म्हणजे त्यांची ज्या प्रोसेस आहेत सिस्टमिक सर्क्युलेशन ते स्टार्ट होतं ही फक्त त्या स्टमच मध्येच राहते इंटेस्टाईन मध्येच राहते
No. No.
but only for the disintegration and dissolution. So that step into that processes skip into this formulation. ते कशावरती राहतात? स्किन वरती कॉन्टॅक्ट जास्त टाइम मध्ये असतो. ओरलचा कॉन्टॅक्ट जीआयटी ट्रॅक मध्ये, राईट? जे ओरली ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेट करतोय त्या डोसेज फॉर्मचा. समजतं डिफरन्स?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
म्हणजे स्किनवर अप्लाय केलेत अदर डोसेज फॉर्मची कम्पेअर करता फार्मास्युटिकल डोसेज फॉर्मची. ऑइंटमेंट आहेत ते एखाद्या फंगल इन्फेक्शन साठी आपण अप्लाय केले.
Sorry.
मॅडम ते advantages and disadvantages we will discuss in our next lecture. You just remember definition of creams and you have to tell this definition in tomorrow's lecture. Okay?
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Give me attendance. Roll number 1, 2,
Present, ma'am.
3,
Present, ma'am.
4,
Present, ma'am.
5,
Present, ma'am.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. Present, ma'am.
Roll number 10.
Present, ma'am.